actually gonna do anything with it. I'm just gonna.
Legion of Doom. They're a mashup artist group, and they make some awesome stuff. Oh, that's embarrassing, actually.
I'm sure, but it was funny.
It was funny, especially the visual that comes to mind with it. An 83-year-old Pope with, just rapping about socio-political commentary.
Ow, who hit me? Oh.
The growly boy. There's, like I said, I really like a lot of Mike Shinoda's rap. I like some of Common's stuff. I really respect Common, and I think that before all of the, us versus them mentality that started making politics so uncomfortable to even address.
They don't make me uncomfortable, they make me angry and disappointed.
It's made it to where I don't like political rap anymore because it just gets so heavy, and I still think that there's plenty of socio-political things that need changed, but I'm just so tired at this point. And I also feel like the approach that is being taken, and I don't want to get into it much more than that, I feel like the approach that's being taken, though, is a dangerous route to take.
Politically?
Yeah.
I agree, and that's what bothers me.
I don't like us versus them. I feel like cooperation is a very important aspect that is almost ignored by it.
Need more devil's advocates.
No, because the devil's advocates get eaten alive.
Yeah, well, they need to be more accepted.
We need infinity devil's advocates, just an army of devil's advocates. Well,
everyone should be willing to play the devil's advocate.
Yeah, but no, it's scary. I've had plenty of times where I've seen people say things and I'm like, I could intervene, but if I do, I'm going to probably get eaten alive. Even if sometimes I've agreed with people, it's that I thought that the approach they were taking was bad.
And how do you get that across?
And you don't. That's the problem.
Huh.
He's just sitting here.
Got pretty far in here for just generic Raider.
That's why I think my most common political stance online anymore is the world needs more love and less hate. Whatever that means. That's all. That's my stance. That's all I want. I don't want people to us versus them each other all the time.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, I've been alive through decades of people disagreeing and not wanting to kill each other over it. And now it seems like that's illegal. I'm even uncomfortable saying this right now, but I've already gotten started.
Again, I think people need to be free to speak their mind.
But I don't think that'll happen anymore.
Well, I'm hoping that I'm willing to die on this hill.
I mean, that's the thing. I totally am in agreement with you, and to some extent I am willing to die on that hill, but I'm not willing to risk other people over it, is the biggest problem. Is I don't like how... Because that's the other problem, is the guilt by association. Of where if you say something stupid, even if it's something where... I've seen people make an edgy joke that it was clear they didn't mean, and they got eaten alive for it, and then their friends got eaten alive for not wanting to hate them. Not even defending them, just not wanting to hate them over it. And I think that's gross.
That's part of the us versus them.
Yeah, I find it gross. I can say, that was stupid. And, I mean, to me, that's a complete... I've heard plenty of horrible takes from people. And usually my stance is, that was dumb.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I also know that one person saying something stupid, one, isn't going to kill me. And two, if they said something stupid and everyone else thinks they're dumb, it's clearly not going to affect anyone socially and make them become
also, you said stupid things. I've said stupid things.
Everybody said stupid things.
I've said things that sometimes I think back, and I still cringe to this day.
Oh, hell
I can't believe it.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
What was I thinking.
Oh yeah.
So no, just someone says something bad. That bad thing they said doesn't necessarily define them.
Yeah, I think that actions speak louder than words on that.
And
I think
again,
that
there's also consistency.
Yeah. And the other thing is, while there is consistency, I also think people can change.
Yes.
Which seems to be a lost art or a lost interpretation of society. I know people who I went to elementary school with, and they were horrible people to me. Like, to the point where it's probably an aspect of why I have the depression and anxiety I have. And they're now people who are nice, and I'm fine with them. I didn't hold a grudge my whole life. And you have 180 lockpicks. The exact opposite of the last game where we couldn't find lockpicks. But yeah, and...
all the lockpicks were in this game.
I had a person who I got in, like, a physical fight with in my first year of junior high, who I actually, like, hung out with my last year of junior high. Because we were friends then.
Bird? I can't get him.
And that's one of those where it's not even, like, a generalization, where, like, oh, that person said something about my sports team or whatever, and now I gotta hate them forever. No, they, like, did things to me, and I was able to realize that they changed.
They were a dumb kid.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is...
kids are dumb.
Dumb kids. Like, I can't stand being around kids, man. Like, I know everyone has to be at one point a kid. It's just part of biology that you don't grow... you're not born an adult. If you were, that would be very painful. But...
that wouldn't work.
But... God, I hate kids. Kids are mean and stupid. Kids are mean and stupid.
I've heard that kids are just tiny adults.
No, because... well, the adults are also mean and stupid. Like, I won't say adults can't be mean and stupid in massive quantities. That's kind of what we're literally talking about. But
Yummy.
Kids have no inhibition for their highest tiers of malice. And kids will...
that is true.
And kids will just either accept as fact sometimes the first things they're told, which is a problem I see with plenty of adults. Accept as fact for the first things they're told. Ooh, picture that you can't pick up.
Oh, whoops.
Well, you grabbed that pot.
This is bad. That's worthless. That is, like, super worthless.
It's worth 1/3 of its weight. But also kids will draw conclusions that not only are wrong, but as an adult, I can't garden maze my way to the decision that they made from it. Where they'll come up with an idea and I'm like, not only was that dumb, I don't know how you got there.
Maybe they're smarter than you.
No.
That's why I don't get it.
In that case, I can say there are plenty of cases where it's no. That's not the truth. I guess one way of putting it is there are plenty of kids who have horror movie protagonist logic where it's dumb and it's so dumb that it doesn't seem real. Except the only difference is, unlike horror movies, these are real people being dumb. Flicker, flicker.
This is not necessary.
But yeah, this is my rant on why I don't like being around kids.
I remember when I used to be a kid once.
Yeah, I did too, and I look back and I'm like, that was an awful person.
Back in junior high, I thought the funniest thing was yanking a chair out from under someone while they were trying to sit in it.
And you can damage someone's spine with that, like.
Yeah, and everyone was getting on me like, dude, someone's gonna get hurt. And I'm like, lol. And now looking back, I'm like, what a dick. Why? So, but no, it's because I was mean and stupid.
Yeah, kids are dumb.
Mostly stupid. I like to think I was mostly just ignorant to the fact that
and that's
harmful.
And that's Hanlon's razor, which is another thing people have gotten way beyond accepted.
Yeah, I love Hanlon's razor.
Yeah, the whole idea that people are more likely to be dumb than malicious, I think, is completely reasonable to accept as a truth about humanity. Because... oh, find more creatures. Oh, I gotta find the quote. It's from... Men in Black.
Did the man say it? Ooh, this is a faction I haven't fought yet. The Gunners. Well, I didn't know it, but apparently they're hostile. I just like how their head was like so staring at me as it fell.
Yep, Agent K said it.
Well, I guess of course he would. He would be the quotey guy.
A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, we knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. 5 minutes ago, you knew that humans were alone on this planet. Imagine what you'll know tomorrow. Which, I mean, the last part is within the story.
Yeah, no, that I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. People are dumb and scared and easily made angry, and they really like to be tribalist or factionalist because throughout millions of years that helped them not die. And now that we are supposed to be in a culture where we're supposed to be more cooperative and accepting and loving of people and let people just live their life as long as they're not hurting someone else, people still haven't,
It's like
as a group, broken that hurdle, gone
I think
over
the
that
problem might
hurdle.
be that human science and culture have advanced far faster than the human brain has.
Oh, absolutely. Biology in general.
Our
We still have
brains-
a lot of even like physical biology that doesn't mesh well with the fact that we have the things we have now. I mean, look how much we use our eyes in everyday life and how many people need optical correction. But it's like,
Mind you, humans also aren't made to live as long as most of them are.
no, absolutely not. Again, that's a difference of biology. Historically, people lived, if they were lucky, to 60. Like, they would have to be hella lucky to be 60.
I like how they're not even looking at me.
They mutated,
Oh,
and
damn.
then you shot them again.
Take that in the leg.
But,
Powerful. Oh, that's a great mod for it, but that's their suit. I'm not gonna. No, I'm pretty sure it's just not even a good weapon.
it's funny, though,
I mean, I'm keeping it.
for how funny it is alone.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm even gonna give it to anyone. I might just leave it in the box, but
But yeah, so as long as people live, and the fact that we keep curing the diseases to make people not die, which is venerable, I do not oppose getting rid of diseases, but everything will cause new problems. We're going to get to the point where we're going to have more people who are old and it's actually an issue in Japan right now, where there are more old and frail people than there are young people who can keep society going. And it actually has a risk of affecting their culture in a very negative way in the future, because there's going to be too many old people and not enough young people to do the job that the old people are now taking up more resources for.
at the
You
same
don't have-
time, you can't just say, "Well, don't
Yeah, no.
increase the life expectancy."
Yeah, no, increasing life expectancy is great. I have no opposition to the idea, but you
what
have
can
to
you
come up
do?
with solutions to take care of the people who now live longer, because when people get older, they still can't lift the 70-pound box. Someone's got to lift the 70-pound box. And so...
And oh,
So,
okay.
hey, look, it's an unknown.
Oh.
Don't shoot unknown.
Oh!
Dude.
Oh no! It got mad and turned into this guy.
But yeah,
Whoa.
their biggest... So, and this is why, even though I really like the idea, I'm definitely going to visit Japan again in my life. I've decided I'm going to visit Japan again in my life. I like a lot of their art and their architecture, and from the things I've met of people, everyone's nice and great, and I like Japan. But I'm not going to say they're the perfect society that quote-unquote weebs do. There's a lot of problems with Japanese culture.
Yeah.
The two biggest ones...
Their work
and-
culture's terrifying.
Oh yeah, their work culture. So I guess that's the third prong.
I
There
don't
are
envy it.
3 prongs that I actually think I had this entire conversation with Izzy at one point. There are 3 problems in their culture that make the situation risky in the next 20 to 30 years as far as potentially having their culture collapse. And that is, they're xenophobic enough that they won't let in new citizens, like they being the government and the traditional culture that overarches over everything, not individual people. I think most individual people are curious about other people and want to learn from other people, which is what I think of myself. I will have a conversation with anyone who's not a dick to me. That's true.
I have a bit of trouble talking to people I have no common interests with, but...
I will still try, because I can keep trying. I can be like, okay, what music you like? Oh, you like traditional polka from the 1600s.
That's
okay.
Very interesting.
Well, how about what video games you like? Minecraft, I can talk to you about Minecraft. Like, you can keep trying. But, if you're not a dick to me, and you haven't, like, if you're not in the clan, for example, like, I won't talk to you if you're in the clan. You can go. I don't need to talk to you. Although, there is a guy who, he's a, I can't think, Daryl Davis, I think is his name.
What?
It just is. It's
Piper broke it.
Yeah, Daryl Davis. He is a jazz musician. How old is he now? He is one of the most inspirational people I know. He's 63 years old. He's an African-American jazz musician who makes a hobby of befriending people who are in the clan so that they have an African-American friend and are persuaded over time that the way they acted was an illusion, and he deconverts people from the clan.
That's cool.
I think that's amazing.
I think that's really cool.
One, I am not going to be able to be that example because I am very not African American.
I don't think I'd have the guts.
But that's the other thing is, I would just like want to punch those people all the time, so I couldn't be that guy. But the fact that there's someone who can de-radicalize someone in a completely humane way, I think is amazing. But it's like, it's in the same kind of path of logic as people who are in the ASPCA. I respect the hell out of people who can do that. I couldn't work the ASPCA, one, because I'd be depressed constantly.
Yeah.
And two, I would probably get fired from beating the hell out of the first person I met, or them beating the hell out of me if they were physically stronger than me, because I'm not going to say I'm some, invincible person. But I love that there are people who can do those kinds of, in that case, job, as opposed to what is literally, as far as I can tell, a completely respectable hobby. But yeah, so back to Japan, what this is all about. So the culture has overarchingly been xenophobic for so long that in their social structure of the government, they don't take in a lot of foreign people for even like work visas alone, let alone something.
Because you're an actual Japanese citizen, don't you have to have a Japanese name or something?
Yeah, you have to convert your name to a Japanese surname. You have to. It is part of their
which seems extremely arbitrary.
You have to, like, I have no problem with language proficiency with going to a country. If you're in Japan, you need to know Japanese. I don't think there's a problem with that.
Well,
but I know that you have to get, like, a really high, like, you have to be able to understand at least 5,000 kanji and 20,000 words or something. Like, really high expectation of language understanding. Which might be just because that's what's needed in social understanding, which is fine. Again, I understand. But it is a very high bar, which, since a lot of people in those countries do have some level of understanding of other languages, I think you could still get by survival-wise, but I could understand from the work side if you need to know these 20,000 words, because when you're working, you're going to need to know these 20,000 words. But it still seems like a lot. I don't know. I think Piper's heard. He's sitting on the ground.
Oh, what are you doing? Get up.
There's, I don't remember. There's like, it's a very hard thing to get citizenship in Japan. It's a very, very, very hard bar to reach. And then, so they have societal xenophobia. Again, I would never declare it as being a statement about the people, because I think the average person is just a person and probably has no problem with, foreign people coming in. I think that would be a really stupid assumption to make about someone. But societal...
That make you xenophobic, possibly.
Yeah. But society-wise, the culture has developed this xenophobic aspect. Plus, since there is a very strong traditional aspect of Japan, you don't have children out of wedlock. And women, when they marry, transfer all financial autonomy to men. It's just part of their culture. And
There's
it's
no
something
reason for it.
No. It's something that's very hard to change because it's been part of their culture for so long.
And they seem to be... Tradition seems to be extremely important.
Yeah, it's very...
Perhaps too important.
Culturally important. And things are changing, which I think is good.
They need
but
to.
One of the reasons that that's caused problems is because of that, women like their financial autonomy. So they don't get married. And men like, because of you were saying with their work culture, not having to find the money to pay for 2 people plus kids. Meaning that they're also fine going out to, like, strip clubs or whatever to get, their entertainment. So they don't end up having kids, and neither side is interested in marrying.
So now you said
but you don't have kids out of wedlock, meaning no one has kids.
But people are getting older.
Yes, but everyone's aging, and as they get older,
the workforce is shrinking.
There's fewer and fewer people to fill those voids. And then you have their school and work culture, which are both so... Like, I do think that in America, we have a problem with...
Work culture?
In a different way. With creating a situation where everyone feels like everything is possible. Not anything is possible, but everything is possible. That they should have everything. And people don't accept criticism as well because of it, because everyone... The trophy joke. Everyone is treated with kid gloves until they get to an age where they are already weak at accepting criticism. Which, if you look at countries like Germany and Japan and places like that, they're much more open to criticism.
I don't know if I'm supposed to get here.
You did it. They're much more open to criticism, which means that they can improve culturally because they don't cloister up from being told this isn't good, this needs to be fixed, whatever. But yeah, so
come over here, help open the door.
I think that's one of the issues America has, is because of the way that we're treated as kids. We don't learn to take criticism as constructive. We learn to take it as a personal attack.
There's just something Izzy said once. In America, it's good to offer help, but it's bad to accept help.
Yes. And that's very... That comes down to another issue we have, where we have our issues with... And this is a problem in Japan and Korea as well. That we, societally, are expected not to have mental issues. Not that we need help with them, but that we don't even admit they exist. And you're embarrassed if you have it. And when you are too embarrassed to get help, it makes it worse. And so you'll have people with treatable mental issues, like ADHD or depression or anxiety or bipolar disorder or things like that.
Over the problems with the healthcare system, but
go unmedicated, untreated, no therapy, nothing to train you to handle these situations non-medically, which are all things that can be done with some of those.
See, I'm mildly autistic, and I learned about that in late elementary school. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm lucky for that.
But the other thing is, you don't like to talk about it, but you're comfortable with that it's a thing, and you don't deny that it exists. But that's not true for all people. There's lots of people who... I know people in my family who have issues and will not get help for them because they don't think they haven't... Well, no, they won't even admit they have an issue to themselves. Like, they think they're just fine.
Because they can't.
Yeah, because we're trained to be afraid to accept therapy and help. it took me a long time to get to where I would get therapy, because one, I had 2 or 3 experiences with therapists who didn't help me, and one who misdiagnosed me and caused chemical imbalances that may have also led to my depression and anxiety by diagnosing me with ADHD and giving me ADHD meds and not giving them to me on the correct regimen, meaning that I was overdosing on them.
Oh no.
And it caused me as a child to have certain chemical imbalances by the medicine that made it so that I probably have imbalances, making it so that my serotonin and cortisol levels are incorrect. And so I've had plenty of fun issues with that. But
reminds me of my chiropractor who said that my back was I had back problems that were objectively improving shortly before what happened.
yeah, you had to have a surgery.
Yeah, I got massively worse. I couldn't even stand up, which meant it was objectively getting worse.
There's another base over there on the right. That's the left.
What?
Over there.
Hey.
Base.
Well, I can take this one.
But yeah, so there's that aspect also of society, which is an issue in Japan as well. But they're more open to accepting criticism from superiors, because another one of their issues is their social structure is very rigid, which I have problems with. And then the third thing, as Shin was saying, is their work and school culture. While there are aspects of their ways of society functioning that are good, I think that there's the interest in communal focus. While I don't think that pure communal focus is good, I think individualism is very important, and I think that that's a thing that I think that that's a thing that certain aspects of modern American society seem weirdly opposed to, is the idea of individualism and people being allowed to think freely, which is a whole thing that's too political for me to talk about on here. But in Japan, one of the things is that it's, and actually most Asian countries, is that there's a more, that's a sneaky computer. There's an expectation of how you handle society, which goes into manners and etiquette and things like that, which do have good aspects. You don't see people litter in Japan, and you'll see shops open with nobody watching them, and no one will steal from them. Because
there's more trust.
You have that social expectation that this is how you treat people, and you don't do these things.
Why is there a kid? Oh, it is a basketball. They missed.
And I think that that's good, but other parts of their societal expectations get so crippling that you have...
I think you're not allowed to take pictures of people generally.
Yeah, it's... oh, well, that's the thing. So I like to watch these walk videos and stuff.
I am trying to figure out how to get the card.
These Japan walk videos where they walk around cities and whatever.
Ooh.
And take video of
cleaning.
and take video of the city and the lights and stuff like that. But you won't see videos in any stores, with very few exceptions. Like, you'll see them in Don Quixote. That's how you pick to sit in that, huh? That's how you play. Okay, all right.
Just put your feet in the wall.
Like Don Quixote, because it's like a big chain, stuff like that. You don't video passersby by like deliberately focusing on them. So like if you see touts on the street or people handing out flyers, or even citizens, one, they'll cover their face.
If you focus on them, they'll get mad at you.
Yeah,
right?
they can get mad at you. And
I mean, I guess that's not necessarily a bad thing. It might just be a cultural difference, actually.
But you also don't like video in restaurants or anything like that. And if you do, you do not show the patrons there or the staff or anything like that. You can sometimes get permission to record, but it has to be of yourself or of part of the establishment no one is in.
It just feels strangely arbitrary, these restrictions.
And but the real issues come with work and school. And the expectations that can be is, one, you have the the elite class, you're really, really, really smart people, you're really successful people, and then the lessers. And you see it where, oh, well, you only qualified for this school. And, I mean, you can even see it in, like, something like Sailor Moon, where...
I see a lot of that, man.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that they talk about is how valuable your high school years and stuff are. Because your high school dictates how successful your life is going to be in Japan.
That's ridiculous.
If you don't do well in elementary school to get from elementary school into a good middle school, and do really good in middle school to transfer from that good middle school to the best high school, you're not going to make as much money. People who are doing better than you will look down on you in school and stuff
So
like
it
that.
basically is how in America people portray college.
Yeah,
It's a must.
I guess. Yeah. Well, yes. If you don't go to college, you're a failure. Although that's changing, because
That's
I do
good.
think that in America, it's getting to the point where you'll see a lot of people who value, especially who are hiring, who value people trained in trades and people who are trained in OJT and work experience.
Or maybe people with good
Because-
work ethic.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, those things will, one, demonstrate good work ethic, and two, you'll gain mastery over something that has a functional value. A lot of degrees won't get you a job because, like, I'm an English major. I'm an English major with a business minor.
Liberal arts.
And if you have a liberal arts degree, for the most part, you're not getting a job.
Well, you're not getting a job from it.
Yeah. I know some places who will still hire if you have a degree just because you have a degree,
So it's a
because it
ton
shows
of-
that you can commit years of spirit service to something. But
It's just tons of time and money for nothing,
mhm,
based on a societal expectation.
Yes.
Thankfully, I had a good financial aid, but a lot of people don't.
yeah, and that's my problem. I'm still $17,000 in debt, and I've been paying for
Right, and that's
10 years.
dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb. But I've seen discussions about this, and one of the reasons for that is because you're guaranteed government aid. Government
cares?
aid.
Oh, hi. Why are you in the?
Hello. Okay. Because you're guaranteed government aid,
Here's hiding in the bathroom, waiting to ambush me.
colleges can charge whatever because the government's gonna pay for it, which means that because you're guaranteed government aid, while it's good because